Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio, and today, I'm going to be showing you Gengar. Now, we've seen a whole bunch of Garchomp videos, because Garchomp has been my character of choice on Pokkén so far, and I showed you a video where I was playing as Charizard. Today, we are going to be playing as Gengar. Now, I've gone for Jirachi as my support Pokemon here, and the reason is Jirachi helps to fill up my synergy gauge. Now, I'm going to be talking as we go through. We've got about 15 minutes worth of fights here, so we don't have to go through everything in the first second. But Gengar, I play very, very differently. Now, you'll see my cheer boost there boosts my synergy gauge by 10% between rounds, rather than the synergy boost I've been using all the way along, which has been just refilling my support gauge between rounds. Now, you see here, Gengar's got in close to Machamp. It's not working very well. I am getting beaten up. Now, I managed to pull off a counter attack, and then I pull off a throw, but you'll notice my throw, I drain some of his energy. I get some HP back, and I get some synergy boost back as well. So my throws actually take away from him and add to me. But you can see that he doesn't really like getting up close. It's why I'm doing counter attacks, and you can see that move, and you can see I've got that punching move. I can't remember what half of them are called, I'm afraid. Now, that was a hypnosis I was trying but failed. And you can see that I'm playing a lot more all over the place, I suppose. Now, I get my Mega Revolution, and I get a big attack there, and I win. Now, I encourage you to go back and look at some of my Garchomp videos. So you see here, she's going to cheer for me, and I get 10% of my synergy gauge already going at the beginning of the fight. And I've set up Gengar here to try and use his synergy gauge more often, because he is far better after synergy bursting than Garchomp is. So that's a hypnosis, put him to sleep, go behind him, punch him, and there's Machamp synergy burst. So here I'm going to want to be trying to use counter attacks to put him off, and I'm going to be wanting to use throws, because especially with Gengar, you drain their burst bar faster by throwing them. Gengar really drains their synergy burst bar with his throws, as well as adding to his HP. So by doing those throws, I'm taking down his synergy bar faster to try and get him out of synergy burst mode. Now, you'll notice, like I say, unlike in my my Garchomp videos, my synergy gauge is filling up faster. Partly that's because I have put some skill points into synergy, which you'll notice I wasn't doing with Garchomp. And I am talking as if you've seen my previous videos. I am doing this a bit like a diary, so I do encourage you to watch the whole lot of them. So I've put some of his skill points into the synergy, and I've gone for the cheer skill. You can see synergy there I've put up. And my cheer skill is refilling it by 10% between rounds. So I'm trying to get the synergy boost. And why? Because synergy burst, I should say. Synergy burst. Oh, what's my lucky bonus? Don't get too comfortable. So, now I've gone through, there's a little training mode you can use, which basically shows you, it lets you go through all the moves for a Pokemon. It's really handy. I might show you that in a future video. Garchomp, after Synergy Burst, he has his burst attack, that's it. When Gengar Synergy Burst, you can actually have a whole new range of attacks, including that spinning attack I showed you earlier. It's really, really good, and you don't like getting in close with Gengar. So for that reason, I'm trying to set him up to use Synergy Burst more often, because that's when he's really strong. Outside of that, and you see there I had to jump forward quickly so I didn't get hit by his punch. Now, in a Gengar Mirror, I can get in and fight just a little bit, get some poker combos off, because obviously I'm fairly matched against them. But it's not something that was a good idea against Machamp. Gengar, really is better a little bit from distance, jumping to the side and using those attacks, using those ranged attacks, and then sliding in after a ranged attack to get a little bit closer. And every time I get close, until I can pull off a throw, it's starting to hurt me just a little bit. Now, there's also that curse attack, which my opponent used and then I used. That takes down your HP a little bit, but it puts your synergy gauge up. So it's a little bit of a risk-reward, but if your opponent's close to you, it's a very quick attack, which also hits them for a little bit of damage as well. So it's actually very, very handy at doing a bit of damage. Now, it does take down your HP, but like we've seen with Gengar, if you can pull off a throw here and there, it will actually put your HP up again. And straight away, very early in the second fight here, I've got my Synergy Burst off, and I get my Burst attack. And Garchomp has, I keep saying Garchomp because I'm used to watching him. Gengar's Burst attack is the best in the game. It looks amazing. Now, whether it's the best strategically, I don't know. I haven't tried every Pokemon enough. But in terms of looking cool, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, is it the best. It is awesome. And of course, we get Mega Gengar going. So, Gengar's a very different style of Pokemon. I'm going for the Synergy because Synergy Burst is really good with Gengar. He gets all these extra attacks that he didn't have before. And like I say, Gengar really does, Garchomp really does it. He just gets the one. Should not have started with 2 Pokemon beginning with G. Now, I am preferring Garchomp over Gengar for now, but I've had a lot more time with Garchomp. I do feel like Gengar's a kind of character where you've got to put a whole bunch of time into it, but I think he could surprise you. But similarly, I think he could get rushed and just get completely smashed. Now, the other thing is, because I'm using a support Pokemon who has an average charge time, and I tend to be quite an aggressive player anyway, I'm not actually fighting for long enough for Jirachi to be charged. So I've not been able to use him yet, which is a little disappointing. So I'm going for counter-attacks here because I'm getting in close to my opponent, and counter-attacks, if they go for normal attacks, of course, grab attacks not, but if they go for normal attacks, then counter-attacks will be very, very useful. But I'm getting in a little bit close here. It's not the way I really want to be fighting. I get a poker combo or 2 off, but it's really not, it's not the way I'm really supposed to be going. Now I've got Curse there, which does, like I say, it takes down my HP, but puts my Synergy gauge up. So I use Curse, and then I immediately get in a throw so that I can go ahead and get my HP back. Now, this is a silly thing on my part. I just wanted to do the burst move again. It's awesome. But of course, your Synergy bar carries on from one fight to the next. So, really, using Synergy Burst when you've only got a tiny amount of damage left to do, in a fight when I was, ahead by miles and going to win anyway, well, now I just start with 10% because of my cheer boost. I'm not, and now my opponent is going to be able to burst far quicker than I am. Speaking of which, there he goes. Now, some people have asked me, can you go for the other Mega Charizard when he burst evolves? I don't think that you can. I say burst evolve, that's not actually a real term, but I'm going with it. Now, like I said before, when your opponent gets their Synergy Burst off, it's staying away from them, maybe doing a range attack or 2. It is grabbing them with throws, which take, it takes time, and the burst lasts for a period of time. And Gengar throws, like I say, they really drain your opponent's Synergy bar. And maybe counter attack or 2, if you like. So, I've managed to weather the storm, if you will, and now I'm kind of running away and I'm messing about a little bit here, and it's my own fault. I get hit with a bit of a combo and then Charizard KOs me, and that's my own silly fault, quite frankly. What I was doing was I was basically running away because I wanted to get my Synergy gauge up so that I could go ahead and Synergy Evolve, or Synergy Burst I should say, to end. Silly on my part, but it doesn't really matter because now I start this round with my Synergy gauge full, I get a couple attacks in, I get my Synergy Burst, and it looks awesome. And of course it means that my opponent is already on very, very little health, and it is just a matter of time. Although I am playing into his hands a little bit here, and actually he's making it closer than it really should be. He's making it a lot closer than it should be. And now he's got his Synergy Burst. But at the end of the day, I've got... Oh, no, I say that. I grab him in a throw, but I'm down to 15 health now. Luckily, my throw, when I have got my Synergy Burst on, does a lot. So, that's one of the things I find with Gengar. Firstly, I'm not playing it as well as I could. I'm happy to admit that. I intend putting in days and days worth of practice on Pokkén, and I'm nowhere near there yet. Partly, it's because Gengar is not really a character designed to get in and fight. Charizard is a power character, and Gengar is a technical character. Oh, I can call myself a true genius. And, I'm really kind of messing. There's going to be a very slight blip in the video here while I stitch a couple together. Wait for it, and you'd never even know, would you? But I've also been putting up Gengar's Synergy, and one of the things Gengar's Synergy really does quite nicely, now that I've put it up a little bit, it means that when I attack after Synergy bursting, I do a little bit more damage. It gives me that extra boost that I need. Now the real question is, am I going to be able to use Jirachi as a search Pokemon at any point in this fight? You see, when I play with Garchomp, because I'm going very attacky, and you know, I put my attack up, I tend to go for fast charging Pokemon and use the cheer boost, which automatically leaves one of them charged at the beginning of rounds 2 and 3. So I get to use them an awful lot more to poke away a little bit of damage. So as much as I liked the idea of using Jirachi here to try and help me with my bar, my synergy bar, it doesn't seem to be working like I'd hoped. Now you see though, I got a curse off a second ago and then I got a throw. I like that little combo if you can get it going. It's not technically a combo because it doesn't, you know, you don't actually put them together, you just do them separately. But Gengar's also got these punch attacks whereby you can punch them from the other side of the arena, which is quite useful. Now, I feel a bit mean when I win with the same move over and over again, especially when I'm supposed to be trying to make an entertaining video. But it's just, I'm trying to show you Gengar as a character here. And that's a fun little attack that he can use. It's another way that Gengar can stand at the back and keep out of it, quite frankly. Not have to get in too close. Now, one of the things with Gengar is I also tend to prefer the field phase with Gengar a little bit more, whereas I tend to be all about the duel phase with Garchomp. Now you see there I've managed to get my Synergy Burst going nice and quickly here, so that should mean that I can end this fight very quickly. Now I do miss with my burst attack, which is very, very silly, but that throw does an awful lot of damage, and from there I can just throw a Shadow Ball at him, and it's over. Quite frankly, it is all kinds of over. One of my goals over the next few weeks is to try and learn the names of all of the attacks from the Pokemon characters. I'm getting there with Gengar. I'm doing pretty good with Garchomp. It's going to take a little more time. Oh, I have another lucky bonus. What's it going to be? A pink V-neck sweater? I mean, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but there's something about pink V-neck sweaters that just make me happy. Might put that on my avatar later. So I'm still persisting with Jirachi. I just want to get it to use once. Once would be good. And I love my little quote there. I love me some fancy play. Now, this is not one I wrote myself. This was a preloaded one in the game, even though it sounds exactly like I talk, which is really quite fantastic. I'm not using Whimsicott. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He's just not my bag. So, here I am in the Blue League, which is the second league, the B League, I think it's called, or C League, one of the two. It's the second league through, and this is my 5th fight, and I think if I win this, I'm actually going to get up into the top 8 and be able to go ahead and go into the tournament, which I'm going to do with Gengar, and you will see in my next video, which should be coming tomorrow. How's that for a little tease? So I'm running around, I've got some ranged hits on him, he gets in a little close, I try a curse, but it's not terribly successful. I'm not timing my counterattacks right, and it's not going brilliantly, but then I get a throw. And when you get the throws with Gengar, it's so good. It drains their health and their synergy bar while putting both your bars up. Now here, I'm being very, very sensible. My synergy bar is full, but I was ahead. I had the win, so don't worry about it. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to have a bit of fun. Because now I'm going into the second fight of this round, and my Synergy bar is full. And I can straight away do Synergy Burst, and you've got that really awesome ranged attack, which hits them from the other end of the field for some damage. And of course, you've got what I like to call the Sonic the Hedgehog attack. And then I hit him with my Synergy Burst move, and this is looking really quite good at this stage. It does an obscene amount of damage. It doesn't quite kill them, but I've got this move that hits them from the other side of the field and does a huge amount of damage. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is enough to pull out the win with Gengar. I like playing as Gengar. I'm not as comfortable as I am playing with Garchomp. He's not quite as in-your-face smashy as Gengar is. but there's a lot of I play him very differently to how I play Garchomp. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to really like about this game. With Gengar, I tend to do running around and trying to avoid them, hitting from distance, trying to get my synergy burst going. Whereas with Garchomp, it's all about smashing. I'm using different cheer boosts, I'm using different support Pokemon, and I'm putting my skill points in different ways. As always, ladies and gentlemen, comment if you've got anything to say, click that like button, subscribe, and check out my other Pokkén videos. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.